guys, Felly here, and we're gonna do a bit of an art talk for this. I'm not even gonna lie, this is gonna be purely a rant. So the last video I talked about how to get into the world of freelancing / commissions, and I was asked if I had any stories or experiences of that, and that's what this is gonna be. So let's get into it. So let me start this off. A lot of times you'll hear people tell a story and it may involve someone huge, major, some power. And they say, I'm not going to say their names for whatever reason. I feel my channel is small enough to where I'm not going to be seen by them. I don't see there's no backlash because I'm not taking shots. I am just relaying my interpretation of the experience. So this was, I would say, more than a few years ago. I was primarily living off of commissions. And like I said in the last video, a bulk of my work was coming from Craigslist. I ran across this opportunity to do, I believe it was titled like pitch package work for a show. So I responded to it, say, typical, my name's Felly, this is where you can find my work, this is how long I've been doing it. I would love to discuss more details about your project. So I get an email back. At that time I was leaving my phone number in the email, so I got a call back and they said, we would like to sit down with you, but we would need for you to meet us within 2 hours. And they was in LA, I was in, I believe, Orange County. So, and it was the middle of lunch hour traffic. So it said I would get there barely like an hour and 20 minutes. But I didn't have enough to bring. And I noticed that in my commission journey, I have noticed anytime it is someone in LA, for whatever reason, they feel they have to do everything in person. There's no Skype, no video chat, no emails, messages. They only do that to give you an address, and then they want you to drive out, even if it's going to take you an hour to get there, just to sit for 15 minutes so you can get back on the freeway, all while not paying you for your time. But I was just like, I needed the money, bills don't pay themselves. So I had to scrounge together because they wanted me to bring in a physical portfolio. I was unprepared for it. I didn't have one. So I quickly grabbed a random assortment of images I had for my current portfolio at the time, slapped them to the JPEGs, ran the Staples, printed them up, bought the sheets, bought the binder, all that, and then flew to LA. I got there with like maybe 15 minutes to spare. I was sitting in the car and I was thinking, I normally do homework when I get the actual email from the people that are trying to contact me, just to see if there's someone big, I've done something, or if there's like negative reviews when dealing with these people. I hadn't done that prior because I didn't have enough time. So I was in the car, I went through the email name, because sometimes Craigslist will populate BS email. So both parties can't harass each other. I don't know if that's still the case. And the email belonged to a company, a studio. I was like, dope. So I went to the website and then I saw who it was for. Then I started panicking. This company was behind a lot of big TV shows. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on this. I gotta be professional. I probably should have worn something better. I think I was wearing like a graphic t-shirt, some jeans, some sneakers. Like I wasn't dressed. I didn't know. Typically I meet people at Starbucks whenever I have to go to LA. It's always Starbucks. I go inside. And, the building outside looked whatever, typical. It was like an industrial area. And you go inside, it looks like this low tier, maybe production company, nothing too flashy, just a bunch of offices, cubicles and stuff like that. And they have me sit in the lobby and they tell me a name of a person that's going to be meeting with me. And they said it'll be like another 10 minutes. I'm like, okay. Typically when I'm waiting in a lobby, the same thing as a job interview. I've always been told you don't take out your phone and sit on your phone. It's like sometimes they're watching you, want to see what you're doing, see how professional you are. But I'm like, this ain't I mean, I guess it was an interview, but I didn't treat it like such. So I looked up the name, and then I saw this was the guy that created all 3 shows of CSI. I forget his name, but that information alone is enough for anyone that feels like Googling. But he had created the first one. That one blew up. He made the other 2. So now I'm nervous. I have no idea what this guy wants. I don't know if I brought the right type of art, because I brought a little bit of everything. Children's art, logos, mascots, a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of superhero, everything across the board. Because I didn't know what it was for. The ad didn't say. So he ended up taking almost 25 minutes, and then I went into this big conference room. And he introduces himself, and he gives me the spiel. And at this point, I'm sitting on the edge. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm getting into. And I don't even know why I'm here. But he was just like, I am pitching a TV show, and I will need storyboards, concept art, the whole 9. I believe what they was offering was, to me, it didn't feel like enough to cover all that. It was 4 digits, but I feel the amount of work he was describing, it should have been, I think it was barely going to be like 1,200. But I was at the point of, this is my step into Hollywood, so I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the hit. A lot of times you'll face that in your career, if I take this low paying work, would it be better in the long term? And a lot of times people will say yes, because you're taking a chance and investing in your future. I was on that. So he goes to say what the show is, and full disclosure, complete honesty, it was something I wouldn't watch. It just didn't make sense. I didn't know, maybe if it was the way it was shot could have sold me on it, but just from the description, the bare bones back of the book summary, wouldn't have been enough for me. And so far I'm okay, this seems like a chill guy. But then things took a turn, and he was just full disclosure. The reason why we're even in the situation where I'm talking to you is because I think he said his agent was making him do this. He said he has to go through the proper channels, he has to do the proper steps to get this show greenlit to be made. And then I don't know if he triggered himself, but that's when he went off. He's like, man, they don't know who the hell I am and what I've done. He's just I've made all 3 CSIs, and they're all hits. I directed the damn Terminator. He's like, that's my resume. I don't need to do this. And then he was just like, you don't need to be here. Technically, I don't even need you. The work speaks for itself. That's not something I need to have this made. But I'm told I need to go through the proper channels, do the proper steps. So here we are. And that's why I would like to consider you for this. And I was just like, damn. So basically, I didn't need to know that I wasn't needed, but he made sure to let it be known, you're not needed. This is a formality. I have to do this, and you just may happen to be the person that goes through it. I'm like, all right, damn. And they even told me, it's between you and one other person. That's it, because we gotta get rolling. We're gonna get started. I believe it was gonna start that same week. It was in the middle of the week, and it was gonna start that Friday. So it would have been balls to the wall to try to crank all this out. And I don't know why, just that whole exchange, you could feel the air of the cockiness, the confidence. He was just oozing, he filled that room with it, and that was just too much for me. It's one thing to be proud of what you have. You should be. If you think you have something that's gonna blow up, you should put that energy outward. But that was too much for me, especially when it's I've done this, and I don't know if I messed up, but I told him, I was like, oh, CSI. I'm like, oh yeah, my mom loves that show. I didn't express it. I had any interest in it, and I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, if I should have been brown nosing. But because I was just I needed the money, but I just, a lot of artists sometimes say they only take projects they're interested in. Me, I was like, nah, YOLO, I got bills to pay. If it's paying enough, I will smile and nod. And I was just like, oh, that's interesting. I try not to lie. I'm like, that's interesting. That don't mean it's good or bad. It just means I think it's interesting enough to do it. So, I mean, that was one of my dealings. And of course, spoiler alert, I didn't get the job. I think they said it was a lack of sci-fi in my portfolio, but I was like, I didn't know what to bring, so I brought a little bit of everything, and I even left the portfolio with them. So I spent however much in supplies, gas, and all that to come out there for maybe 30 minutes, and then drive back home. But I mean, it was an eye opener, and I did get a little. I wasn't starstruck, but I was just like, oh snap, I'm about to get in that forever money. This is gonna be on my VH1 behind the story. How did Philly make it into the industry? And none of that happened. But it was a good lesson. It's just like I should have portfolios ready to hand in physically. I should have stuff that's more catered to certain genres. Like I had plenty of sci-fi work. I could have made a portfolio completely of that, but I didn't know. I went into it blind. I should have asked more questions. Is there anything particular I should bring? What should I be trying to showcase the most? What is your project about in a nutshell? If you can't tell me details, can you give me a summary? Things I should have did. It was a learning lesson. And I guess there are people that you're gonna be full of themselves, full of life, and you just kind of have to be able to absorb that and not put off negative vibes, especially if it turns you off. If it's to the point you don't like it, nicely reject the job. If you think, okay, they may be a little over the top, but I can deal with them, then you gotta proceed in a way that doesn't showcase how you feel about it. Because I think my face was saying it all. But that's gonna be it for this one. If you found this slightly intriguing or even interesting, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to see some of my work, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Art by Felly, and I'll be sure to hit you with another one of these gems soon.